Have you ever felt anxious about missing out on something? Welcome to the world of FOMO, the fear of missing out. It's a form of social anxiety that stems from the belief that others might be having rewarding experiences from which you're absent. This fear can be quite potent and is often exacerbated by our constant connection to social media. On these platforms, the highlights of people's lives are on full display. And it's easy to start comparing and feeling a sense of regret for not being part of these experiences. But it's crucial to remember that these are just the highlight reels, not the full picture. Despite its digital nature, FOMO is very much a real-world issue. It's not just about feeling left out. It's about how this fear can shape our actions, often pushing us towards paths we might not otherwise take. So, let's delve deeper into understanding FOMO and its impact on our lives. Imagine this. It's Friday night and you're tired after a long week. You've been invited to a social event, but you're not interested in attending. Yet there's a nagging fear of missing out. You see, FOMO often plays a significant role in our decision-making process, particularly when it comes to social event attendance. Even when we're exhausted or disinterested in a particular event, the fear of missing out on a potentially memorable experience or the opportunity to be seen as part of our social group might push us to attend. The irony here is that in our pursuit to avoid missing out, we might actually be missing out on something else, personal rest or perhaps more meaningful activities. We end up in a cycle of overcommitment, constantly chasing after experiences that we think we should be having, which often leads to dissatisfaction with our own choices. This is where the fear of missing out can become a double-edged sword. On one hand, it encourages us to seize opportunities and live life to the fullest. On the other hand, it can lead us to make decisions that may not necessarily align with our personal well-being or genuine interests. So we're left with a question: are we attending these events because we truly want to, or because we're driven by the fear of missing out? In this case, FOMO has driven us to prioritize the perception of inclusion over our personal well-being or genuine interests. Let's consider another scenario. A new smartphone model has just been launched. You don't really need it, but you see everyone around you excited about it on social media. The fear of missing out sets in. In this case, FOMO is the driving force behind your sudden urge to buy this new phone. It's not that your current phone is broken or outdated, but rather the thought of not being part of the buzz, the trend, the conversation that's luring you into making this impulsive purchase. What's more, the constant bombardment of images and reviews showcasing the phone's features on your social media feed doesn't help. It merely amplifies the feeling of being left out. But let's pause for a moment and consider the implications. The initial thrill of buying the phone might be satisfying, but it's often short-lived. Once the excitement dies down, you're left with a significant dent in your wallet and a phone that, while new, doesn't necessarily add any substantial value to your life. In fact, the anxiety of keeping up with the next trend might already be creeping in, replacing the initial satisfaction with buyer's remorse. Moreover, making impulsive purchases driven by FOMO can lead to financial strain, creating a cycle that's hard to break free from. It's like running on a hamster wheel, constantly chasing the next big thing. Here, FOMO has pushed us to make financial decisions based on the fear of being left out of a trend or conversation, rather than our actual needs or desires. Recognizing the influence of FOMO on our decisions is the first step in addressing it. It's like a sly puppet master pulling strings from the shadows. But we can cut those strings, and here's how. First, consider curtailing your social media use. This can help reduce exposure to the highlight reels of other people's lives, which often fuel FOMO. Next, shift focus towards your personal values and interests. What truly matters to you? What genuinely sparks your joy? By answering these questions, you start to build an inner compass that guides your choices, independent of external pressures. In addition, practicing mindfulness can help you appreciate the present moment rather than constantly yearning for different experiences. It's about savoring the now rather than pining for the next. Lastly, cultivate gratitude for your current life and experiences. This simple act can counteract FOMO's pull, making you realize that you're not missing out, you're just where you need to be. By acknowledging and addressing FOMO, we can make more deliberate and fulfilling choices, leading to a healthier and more satisfying life.